Hi, everybody. This is Roland Pruitt, and this is my Kaiju review show. This is episode 23. The first season, we only have 2 more episodes, and that's going to be Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Terror of Mechagodzilla. And then we're going to be done with the Showa series. We'll be done with the first season of this show. This is episode 23, though, and that's Godzilla vs. Megalon. And we have a very special panel today. Of course, we have Anastasia, the lovely Anastasia. We have Professor Wallnut. And all the way from Japan live, George Morgan is back. And I'm wearing my Jaguar hoodie. Dun, 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 dun. I wish I had a mask.
It looks wonderful. You look so strong. I love it. Thank you.
It's quite stylish of you.
It's beautiful. Yes, I love it.
I bought this years ago on the internet. I don't know if they still have them out there, but I saw it and I couldn't resist.
Well, of course not. Of course not.
And it's not cold out, but I had to wear it for this show because this is the only movie that Jet Jaguar is in. Oh. Now, George, help us out here. Yeah. I always see him. I always see it written as Jet Jaguar, like the car or like the cat, but they say Jet Jaguar, right?
It's a Jetto Jaga, and Jaga is the Japanese word for jaguar.
What do you call me?
Jaga.
Yeah, Jaga.
Jetto Jaga.
Jetto Jaga. Because they call him Jet Jaguar, I think, in this, like jugular. In the American dub version, but it's Jet Jaga. Okay, because I remember hearing the song at the end of the movie sung in Japanese, and he says Jet Jaga, Jet Jaga.
And that's sung by the Kamen Rider singer. The guy who sings the Kamen Rider theme song, he's a famous singer. He sings that song. Plus the other songs.
I learned something. I always learn something when George is on the show. So
and did you know that
I actually shot a video for the action figure Megalon, and I forgot to send it to Anastasia. So I might do that as we're talking here, and I don't know if she'll be able to get it and put it in the show. I don't know.
Well, why don't we try it? Let's just try, and I can see about it.
All right.
Try sending it now, and when we see.
I'm looking for it.
Anastasia is very clever, so.
Yes.
Thank you for noticing. Yes, I really try to be very cunning and also clever. Yes, clever.
Yes, clever.
Well, that's King Ghidorah.
But the Jet Jaga character was Toho held a contest with school children, elementary school children, to design a robot to be in the next Godzilla movie, and the winner was this character, and his name was Red Alone. So Japanese maybe Aka Alone or Redo Alone. And they used that design, but they changed the design, that face and everything. And the actual boy who made it, he was quite upset that they changed it. But it was the rumor is that Jet Jaguar is supposed to be the Toho version of Ultraman, but it's not Ultraman. The Toho version of Ultraman is, Rory, help me. Sorry, Mr. Pruitt. the Toho version of Ultraman is.
The Toho version of Ultraman would probably be Jet Jaguar.
No, it's not Jet Jaguar. It's not Jet Jaguar. It's Zone Fighter.
Oh, that's right, because Godzilla made appearances on the show, and King Ghidorah.
Yes, it's the same costume. Right. It's the same costume from Gigan they used in the TV show.
Yeah.
And this costume here for this movie was the costume that they made the quickest. They made it in 1 week. And it's one of the lightest ones.
Yeah.
And the man who played it in this movie,
cool, actually.
It's only this movie. But the guy who plays, was it the guy who plays Gigan or Megalon? I can't remember which one. Plays Godzilla from 1984 all the way through Destroyer.
It's Gigan. He does the Heisei Godzilla.
Okay. Okay. He does Godzilla.
Kenpachiro Satsuma.
Yes, Kenpachiro. Yes.
Cappuccino.
Yes, and just so you know, Japanese make fun of English names just as much as we make fun of Asian names.
Again, I think this was his first movie doing a suit, doing a suit character.
Yes,
and
I
I guess they liked him so much. Yeah, when the Heisei Godzilla came back, when Godzilla 84 came back, he became Godzilla, and he did it all the way through Destroyer. So.
Yes. And this Godzilla costume is called
okay, I have the video here. I have the video.
Hi, can you play it right away?
And this is my latest Kaiju collectible video. This is Megalon, who is featured in the movie Godzilla vs. Megalon. That's the only time he appeared on screen in the Godzilla universe because he's a giant beetle bug.
Cockroach.
Kind of. Yeah. With drill hands.
So there it is. Yeah, the character is just so bizarre. He's a giant cockroach with drill hands.
Last beetle, yes, last beetle.
They decided never to use him again. I actually kind of like the design.
They've used him. They've used him again in anime series and shorts. He's in 2 other shorts, yes. And he's one on a YouTube video recently in this past year.
Oh, okay. Again, I was hoping they'd bring him back. I was hoping they would bring him back for Godzilla Wars, but they didn't. So, but I hope they bring Gabara back. So,
and Gabara was supposed to originally be like an Ultraman type character too, and they changed it to a monster. It's supposed to be a humanoid type.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Well, he has the body of a movie frog and the face of a cat, and he's got electrical hands. So I just thought that'd be a neat character if they gave him a shot as a real villain and not as some kid's fantasy, bully villain of Monster Island kind of thing. So anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead and get into the timeline. Thank you, Anastasia, for playing that video. I'm so glad we got it in here.
Thank you. It was so nice to see it.
I keep trying to do these and before I sell the figures on eBay. I'm probably going to sell this on eBay too. Now I won't be able to use it anymore. Anyway, so yeah, Toho, the logo. And we start out with a map, and they talk about the Galapagos Islands, and just off the coast of the Galapagos Islands, there's the Seatopia, the land of Seatopia, under the water. And there's all kinds of atomic testing or nuclear testing there, and they're not liking it. And meanwhile, on Monster Island, that's the movie he does at the beginning of the film. He does it one way, and he does it the other way, and then he does it the camera, and he's done. And Anguilas, unfortunately, falls into a giant crevice.
Yes,
there he is. This is the puppy dog face Godzilla, as I like to call it.
It's a bubbly eyes. They couldn't afford time to actually design the eyes more because they built the costume so quickly, all in 1 week. So let's just
they had to build this costume from scratch. I guess the other one was getting kind of ratty. In Godzilla vs. Gigan, you can see little pieces falling off of the underarms. So yeah, I have a theory about this, that's actually Minya from the earlier films like Destroy All Monsters and Son of Godzilla, all grown up. He's the new Godzilla now. So that's why he looks a little happier, a little friendlier. So we get the big explosions and da, da, da. Godzilla vs. Megalon. Megalon. In Japan, it's Megalon, isn't it? Not Megalon.
Well, again, with the R's and L's, Megalon.
Then, for no reason whatsoever, they just jump right to the kid on the little toy there, lapping out in the lake. And the two guys, the one in the blue sweater is the professor. He's Rokuro Rokochan Ibuki, and he's played by Hiroyuki Kawase. And he's in a couple of other Godzilla movies in the Heisei series. He's also in Terror of Mechagodzilla, I believe.
Yes,
he falls in love with a robot. I think he falls in love with a robot.
That's his younger brother on the boat. How old is he, and how old is his younger brother?
Yes. So, and this guy is just a friend. He's just a friend of the family. It's the guy on the left who likes to.
By the way, Sasaki is in Terror of Mechagodzilla, Godzilla vs. Biollante, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and Godzilla 2014. He's the Admiral, and Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. Both the American movies too.
That's right. I'm sorry. He's the inventor, Goro Ibuki. Roku-chan is the kid. And he was also in, and he did a good job in the Japanese version of Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, Hedorah.
Yes.
And so he did these two films, and he was also in Ultraman.
He's in Ultraman. He was in Ultraman Jack, and he was also in Miraman, and he was in Zone Fighter Episode 2.
Zone Fighter. What's that?
His Zone Fighter. That's all.
Who is he in Zone Fighter?
Jiro, whoever Jiro is, I don't remember which character that is. Just some boy with very short pants.
Yes, they always put him in short pants. I don't know why. They should be ashamed of that. Jun Fukuda, I think.
It's standard anyway. Japanese. So just want to tell you quickly.
Standard
in Japan,
Japanese.
Elementary school students have to wear their uniform to school every day. And it's girls and boys. Girls wear a skirt and a blouse, and boys have to wear the jacket and shorts. And they wear the same shorts from first grade to sixth grade. So they're short shorts by the time they're in sixth grade, because they buy one pair of clothes for 6 years.
They don't do their laundry once a week. They do it every day.
No, you buy one pair or two pairs of the same size that'll fit for 6 years. My son did the same.
Yikes. So he's out there in the lake on this toy thing that the inventor Goro created, and all of a sudden the lake starts to, there's like an earthquake, and the lake starts to move around, and the water starts to sink into a crevice, and they're afraid that Roku-chan is going to get swallowed up into the crevice, so they just luckily happen to have a rocket rope with them. And when you go out to a picnic, you got to take a rocket rope with you.
Well, he's a professor.
I have a rocket rope right here. I got a rocket rope. Every lesson I use this for kids.
You got to have a rocket rope with you when you go out.
You must have a rocket rope with you. Because you never know when a kaiju is going to show up and disturb the waters.
And you need your rocket rope.
And you need your rocket rope to rescue your...
I think we should market these.
Yes,
rocket rope.
Available only in Japan.
By Ronco.
By Ronco. So there is, I think that's footage from Monster Zero with the lake turning blue.
Yes,
anyway,
there are a ton of stock footage, almost as much as the Gigan movie.
Yeah,
lots.
Again, they're just
they shot this in
cutting
record
budget
time, like 4 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. So help! So they shoot the rope out to him, and goodness me, what a great shot they are, because they get it in the first shot right over the boat.
And it's a little thin rope too. He's like, that's gonna pull in. That's gonna not strafe on your hands or anything.
Give me the rocket rope. You got the rocket rope, right? Shoot it to me. I'll catch it.
And just so in the English dub, I always thought his voice was very strange. The dub for him is Barbara Laney.
Yes, it's because they got a grown woman, like with Bart Simpson, on the Simpsons, it's okay that she does an actual voice that sounds like a little boy, but yeah. Hey, how about Roku-chan? I am Roku-chan.
But I do have to say,
we can test out our dolphin thing.
I do have to say, his dubbed voice, it's a little less annoying than the one from Gigan, or Hedorah.
Hedorah. Yeah, he does sound worse than Hedorah. I gotta admit, he's more annoying in that.
So,
Papa.
Yeah, it's like
I got sludge on my head, and it burns. So they get Roku-chan in, and the lake dries up completely.
Yep.
And the
Waterfalls
reason
and
that there was this earthquake and the lake dried up is because they created an opening, a hole from Seatopia to Japan so that Megalon can fly up there and wreak havoc. So the friend of the family, Hiroshi Jinkawa, played by Yutaka Hayashi. He's got a cool car. He's got like a classic.
And you notice it's the driving wheel. The wheel is on the opposite side. Because in Japan, everybody's on the right, same as the UK. So this is what, European or American car?
Yeah. It's a British car. It's like a Bugatti or something, you know.
But the steering wheel's on the opposite side of the UK. So
yeah. So
and the license plate is Tokyo. License plate's Tokyo.
License plate is Tokyo. Thank you for sharing that.
I asked my wife because I'm like, what?
Good to know. If they get stopped, he's like, hey, is this license plate for okay, you got a Tokyo plate.
It says right on it. It says right on it. So
so it's sunset, so they're driving home now after, you know, they almost lost Roku-chan. Let's go home now. I'm so glad you brought that rocket rope.
They lost that damn boat. They lost that fish boat.
I don't know how they got it in the car in the first place.
Probably just how did they get it there? There's no trailer. There's nothing. Was it just there?
It's probably strapped to the back. We don't know.
No, I think it's just that in Japan, you just have toys and big things there, and you just use it and you leave for someone else to use.
Well, that didn't work. Let's just leave it here on the beach.
We'll just let it get sucked down into a whirlpool and some maelstrom. That's all right.
I don't think anybody else is going to get hurt with it. They leave the rocket rope too, just in case.
The only thing, we're not going to get our deposit back, but okay, well.
Well, that guy and whoever owns the car's birthday is December because the inspection is December on the window, so you know.
Oh my God!
And it's your birthday in Japan.
You actually took the time to figure that out, man. That's like the Saturday Night Live sketch when they're telling William Shatner that he just had a foal at his property and he didn't know about it yet. My horse had a foal, really. Anyway, so they get back to their place, the laboratory, and one of the guys from Zootopia attacks them and knocks them out, knocks them down.
What is that cube that's in the middle of the room hanging? The cubes. Why do they have those cubes?
Something that the professor, the inventor, probably created. We just don't know what it is.
They look like this, like some sort of art installation, or
could be art.
Yeah, pictures of cars on it. The man with the beard, he's half Japanese. He's from is it Norway or Sweden, and he was born in the 30s, and he was going to return home with his mother, but the war was on, so he could not. And because he waited till after the war, his passport or his papers to return to his country were expired, so he had to stay in Japan and become Japanese only.
Oh.
And he became an actor in tons of things.
Okay, plays a lot of bad guys.
And his name is Oof. It's a Oof, which is wolf. What? Oof.
Lead Zootopia agent Kotaro Tomita, right?
No, he's not the lead agent. He's the other agent.
Oh, okay.
He's the one with the beard.
I don't have his.
He's Oof Otsuki. So he got a Japanese name, and then his actual first name is Oof, which is wolf.
Okay. All right. So I guess they fend off the Zoetopian attack, and Hiroshi checks out Roku-chan, makes sure he's okay. The laboratory is a mess, but Jet Jaguar is still there. standing. They're robot, and there's some reddish powder on the ground. And the professor says, "I'm going to check this out in my microscope. See what I can see."
Hey, it matches the red button that I somehow got from the guy's jacket.
Yeah, yes, I forgot about that. Yes, he pulls one of the buttons off the guy's jacket, and it's red Seatopia powder too.
And the Seatopia's car, is that a Rolls Royce? What is that?
It's a Mercedes.
The Mercedes, okay.
It's a Mercedes, yes.
And again, it has Tokyo on the plates.
What? Not Seatopia?
No, there's Tokyo right there. It's
What's Seatopia's birthday?
Those kanji. So the kanji on the license plate tells you where you live, where you license your car.
Well, that's good. Gives us clues. All right, so they're having a little conversation in the laboratory. Jet Jaguar is okay. They didn't steal him. They figure they were there to steal Jet Jaguar, and that's true.
Can I just say, I found this kaiju film, it's very progressive. Here's a young man with his two dads having dinner.
He's a friend.
Oh, they killed all the. There's no women anymore. There's no women in this movie. The guy had the two cutest women I've ever seen, and this one's got none. That's the only downside.
And ironically, there are pinups of naked girls in the truck that the truck driver.
That was edited from the U.S. version.
Yeah.
Damn edits.
Oh no, it's in here.
Oh, it's in here. Okay, okay, you got it. Okay.
I use the Japanese version, so for these slides. So yeah, he checks out and he goes, "Hey, this is sand that's only found in Seatopia." I don't know, it's something ridiculous like that.
But going back to the Wallnut's point is that these guys are probably married. These two guys
could be.
All the women have died off. I mean,
they're sporty dressers. I will say that. Yeah, he's talking about Easter Island and that region, and that's where the sand comes from, that kind of thing.
Yes, the Honda room. And they met.
It's the Honda room.
That's square thing.
It says, but Japanese doesn't say the Honda room.
So, all right. So, yeah, again, we've gone through this. He points out that, this sand is from like Easter Island.
Easter Island. And
we know it's from Wink Nudge Nudge Seatopia.
So Easter Island, those statues have been proven to be built about 1,000 years ago, between 1,500 and 1,000 years ago. All of them were built, and they were built from the rocks in the mountain. But this movie has it wrong. Oh,
well. And they're saying that maybe part of Easter Island fell into the ocean and became Seatopia, I guess, because there's those heads down there. Yeah. So they go to work on Jet Jaguar. They got to finish it because, if somebody's going to steal your shit, it's got to be finished. Now, I actually I like the way that they actually pieced 3 shots together to create a full picture of Jet Jaguar. What it does, the camera pans from foot up to the top.
All the camera work. All the cinematography and camera work in all of these films is excellent. Whether the story is good or not, the cinematography is really good.
Yeah. So there I am.
Ready for action.
Okay.
So they're happy. They've yeah, now because you guys said that they're probably a couple of husbands, I'm thinking, oh great, they built a toy for themselves. I'm never gonna see this film the same way again.
Well, they do seem rather proud, and like, oh, I gotta light up a cigarette now.
See that? I'm thinking Western culture. You see, but in Japanese culture, you have men and women who are very close friends who don't even think of dating at all. And so men and men that are very close friends that don't think of dating. It's just our Western thinking sometimes. We're we're always skebe. Skebe means we're nasty, or we think a little bit too deep into the inner workings of the bedroom.
We always think we're gonna bone her.
Or bone
I think
him.
it's an actual Billy Crystal line from when Harry met Sally. I mean, you might have said nail her in retrospect. Okay, so the Cetopian guys, they have planted a bug in the laboratory. So they haven't tried to steal Jet Jagger yet because he's not finished. And now they know he's finished. So they're going to come back and finish the job.
We got to go to the motorcycle they built. Where's the motorcycle? Oh, yes.
There we go. The little
So,
mini.
yeah, little Roku-chan goes out on his little mini bike. And they kidnap him.
Ones, this is like standard in Japan. I've seen people drive these.
Yeah?
Yes.
I'm going to sell this to the Shriners and make a lot of money.
Yesterday in Kobe, yesterday, an adult had one of these.
Kobe Docks?
No, in Kobe, the city Kobe. You know, the basketball player was named after him. That's why we call him Kobe Bryant, because he was named after the city.
Isn't that a coastal town?
It's in between Okayama with me and Osaka. So yes, basically.
Again, I know that there's Kobe Docks.
It's not a town. It's bigger than Orlando. It's 5 times the size of Orlando. It's probably this bigger than Dallas and what's the other big city in Texas?
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. It's probably Anyway, it's huge. Huge.
But yeah, they kidnap.
So when they kidnap him, watch. Do you see the scene? The oaf takes him in the car, and when they're driving off, he's going like this, shaking him like this. And I'm like, is this a child abuse on film set?
Gotta make it look real.
Because I know he's really throwing him around.
Well, look at Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black, where he's shaking the dog all over the place.
That's a dog. We don't care.
I like that.
That's a
cruelty.
dog.
Poor little pug.
Yeah. So they get Roku-chan to stand up in front of the camera because they actually had like those door cameras before the door cameras were like a thing.
And they're in Japan too. They've been here since I've been here. They've been here for many years.
Yeah.
And usually, though, there's not an intercom. There's a telephone next to the door or near the door, and it's called an interphone.
Yeah. They couldn't afford that.
When I first moved to Japan, I was in an apartment, and they just call us. I go, I'll call you. And I went to the interphone. I'm like, hello, it doesn't work. And they go, that's the intercom for your front door, idiot. Oh, gee, thanks. I didn't know that. Okay, thanks a lot.
Found out the hard way. All right, so they get he's got a hairdryer gun?
Yes, the hairdryer gun.
It's a leftover from Gigan, the cockroach guy.
Pellets, but it fires pellets.
And so they take over the lab. And he calls Antonio, who is the leader of the Cetopians. Emperor Antonio, played by Robert Dunham, who actually did quite a few of these Toho films. He was the token white boy.
He is known. I know recently he was asked to go to a Comic-Con. This is just a story I read in the newspaper, and there's no newspaper.
Wasn't recent.
And he
passed
was
away
asking,
like 2002.
And he was asking for like $5,000 to appear.
Yeah.
And he's born in Maine. Damn, where my brother was born. Damn, I lived there many years.
Yeah, he ended up in Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that. And
he died 25 years ago.
Passed away like 2002, I think.
2001.
Yeah. Now, the reason I know that is because I was actually involved in a movie called Deadly Species. And he auditioned.
I went to the audition
for a role in the movie. And then he passed away before the movie got started.
I auditioned for that too.
Did you know?
Yes, I did. and I actually yes, I auditioned for that, and there was a really religious couple of white American, very hardcore religious, and I told them a really dark joke, and I made them really sad before the audition. I was like, no, I'm only joking.
Oh, don't hire him. He's a Satanist. I remember you were in Central Florida at that time. That's right.
Yes, I went to the audition, and I was too. They said you had to be rude, so I was rude to the interviewer. I was rude to everybody.
There you go. So Seatopia is going to start war on Japan for doing the nuclear testing and close to Seatopia, and they're very angry, as well they should be. But unfortunately, they don't have much in the way of military. They just got Megalon. So he's like, there's a great line here. I love it. And it's, Megalon! Megalon! Wake up! Megalon! That's the line. Wake up,
That's just like it. Perfect.
And that does it. He's like, he gets out of bed, combs his hair, gets ready.
And what was Robert Dunham a sailor? Because back in the day, they only had tattoos if you were a sailor. And he's got tattoos on either arm.
That's probably correct. And Seatopia, they all got tattoos, baby. Tattoos up right there in Central Seatopia.
That's right. Something. The underwater civilizations that we see in these, you have the Kingdom of Mu, and now Seatopia. They're snappy dressers, but at least Mu was technologically advanced enough to actually have a submarine. These guys, they just have a monster.
They don't even have a submarine, or a laser.
They don't have a laser.
All of the women who are dancing, who are wearing the see-through dresses with the bikinis, are
actually men.
No. The ones on the ground. I have it paused. The ones on the ground are all men. The 6 dancers are Japanese women, and the 2 women on the sides are 2 not Japanese women, not Asian women.
So, okay, I don't know what the ratio, what the logic in the ratio is, but okay. There has to be more Japanese dancers. Damn it!
They're all Japanese dancers, and you can see, because I had to see the only girls in the movie, so I had to take a look.
I got to be honest, this was probably the most silliest, dumbest dance scene in any of the Godzilla films. I mean, there's a lot of Mothra Island movies, where they do pretty cool dances and stuff, and King Kong Islands and stuff like that. But this dance was pretty lame.
Okay, see.
Yeah, it's like who?
Don't show a clip now.
On the picture.
Who coordinated this?
On the picture.
We don't need a hit.
I do love the little shark fin hats. I thought that was
cute. Yeah, the costuming on this was pretty bad too.
It was top notch. Yes.
I just put a toga on him.
I told my wife, please wear this costume: the bikini with the white boots, knee-high white boots, and then the clear dress, and then the fin hat, and the KKK hat. I thought that was great.
That's what.
And put on the Pope hat.
When did this become a Klan rally? What?
So what did she say?
I just got the ugly look. That's all.
No. All right. So Megalon wakes up. We were back at the lab for a second there, weren't we?
Yeah, we don't need the lab. Go to Megalon.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Hiroshi gets away. He gets out of his ropes and beats up the Seatopia guy, the lead Seatopian agent.
Yeah, the hippie.
And he hits him with that square thing like a wrecking ball.
That's why he has that. That's the reason they're there now, is because when people come in, you hit people with them.
It was in the script. And we'll put a giant cube right here, and it's hanging, and it's we'll never explain what it is, but we're going to use it to kill or knock out the Seatopian. So anyway, but he leaves Jet Jaguar there. So the Seatopian calls Antonio and says, we still have Jet Jaguar. One of the guys got away. So they send Jet Jaguar out. Neat, 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 neat. It always sounds like a garbage truck backing up. Dun, 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 dun. He's got a little radar come out of the side of his head. It's Uncle Martin. So yeah, he flies off because he is going to guide Megalon to Japan because Megalon has no sense.
There you got the picture. You got the nude girl pictures. Yes.
There it is. Yeah, this guy's a perv. This truck
Just
driver.
zoom in. It's the driver and the other Japanese guy. And
I'm sorry, we can't zoom in, and we probably shouldn't. This is this is an adult show, folks. It's not for kids. Just letting you know.
I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to zoom in on my phone.
Obviously, this Japanese movie wasn't meant for kids either, even though it's very kid, except for this scene, very kid related. So yeah, Roku-chan and I thought Goro was his dad, his older brother, huh?
It's his older brother.
Okay, so Goro and Roku-chan, yeah, come over and hang out with us for the summer.
Mom will love it. Two guys and a little boy with short shorts.
And we'll let you have the little mini bike. And we'll hit each other with a giant square.
Giant crap meat idea by Seatopians.
So they're in the back of the truck and they're getting buffeted around because the truck is bumping all over the place. And I thought this guy got away. Wait a minute.
No, he sends Jet Jaguar out first, and then he manages.
Yes, he didn't get away yet. Not yet. You're fast forwarding too much.
All right, I got ahead of myself. I do that sometimes. So he attacks the Seatopian guy. He gets out of his ropes and attacks the Seatopian guy.
And what happened to this car?
And jumps into this crappy car that wasn't the cool car that he had before.
It's definitely a Japanese car. I don't know what this car is. It's a Volkswagen. It's a Volkswagen 1600
I think
TL.
it's a Volkswagen. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
But the steering's on the Japanese side.
Right? Volkswagen makes a great car, but they don't look great, you know. Unless
what happened to the roof?
Decals make it look like Herbie the Love Bug, you know. Yeah, there's no roof. My hair will not move even though the roof is open.
Oh.
He's got a lot of hairspray on that hair. I'm serious. That hair should be all over the place. I'm not even sure the car is moving actually in this shot. They're just get an upshot of him. It's the blue sky. Yeah, they'll never know.
He's wearing slippers too, driving the car.
Is he wearing slippers?
They show his foot, and it's a slipper. It's pushing a Japanese slipper.
Damn it! He tied me up when I had my slippers on.
No, I have to say, this is probably it suddenly turns into a James Bond film, and also a commercial for this car because they go down steps and down mountains and down.
They go all on the.
And if you go directly on a motorcycle, it will just go right up your hood and over your car.
Yes,
even if your sunroof is open.
This car is indestructible.
These are the same monster sets with the going down in the car that they used for the first Sentai. Sentai is the Power Rangers, the first Go Ranger, and it's the same they use the same areas. It's around the Tokyo area where they're doing construction. They do all of the Kamen Rider and stuff because there's no city, but there's a bunch of open construction.
Right. So Megalon gets up to the surface and he's looking around like, all right, where the hell am I going to go now? I have no sense of direction. Where am I going?
He does this odd little shuffle here too. Exposed dirt, like the wrestler about to, throw down.
Doesn't the guy in the motorcycle get dumped with glue or paint or cream when he crashes?
Yeah. He gets. I think he gets a cement over him, doesn't he?
You just don't know what it is.
Wet cement pours all over him. Anyway, there you go.
You see the cement or paint.
Probably white paint.
Yeah.
Because that's funny to kids.
It's cream. It's cream. Because this is a comedy.
So a couple of buckets of cream next to the guy's house.
I don't know if that's any better, but all right.
All right, so Jaguar shows up, and Megalon evidently realizes or knows exactly what he is right away because he's very happy to see him. He does a little happy dance, and he goes and flies away, and Megalon chases after him, goes after him. Now the ratio, Jet Jaguar looks kind of big compared to what Megalon's size is supposed to be, but there, maybe I'm just splitting hairs. Doesn't he look big?
Yeah, I think it looks too big. But it's toys. But with his arm, with his arms locked together like that, he's a different size figure.
Okay, so
I didn't mean to give it away for all the kids that are watching.
Nice pinups.
Yes.
So they get a radio thing saying Megalon. I think they know his name too, even before he's been announced. Megalon is on his way to the dam or whatever when they're close to there, and these guys freak out and they go, "Oh, we got to stop the truck and turn around." And the Cytopian guy's like, "No, you're not turning around."
They just dump Ulf off, don't they? And his body just falls down a canyon, and he's dead.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's pretty heinous. I think the truck even rolls over him like they do in the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
No, they don't do the truck. They just show a dummy going down.
Yeah, just throw him off the truck. Yeah.
They don't run over him first?
No, they don't run over.
He just falls off the cliff.
I'm watching it right now. They throw him off, boom, and then they show a shot of a dummy going down the mountain because you can tell because the head's going like this.
Very
and then they show a close up of him, so it's not now. He's dead though.
So here we got the Mazers coming because they're going to reuse that damn Gargantua shot again.
And is it only the Japanese government that puts cannons on Jeeps?
So again, good stock footage. And he gets thrown out. Yeah. So that's the end of Oof, the second Cytopian guy. I don't even think he's got a listing on IMDb. Otherwise, I would have had him on my list.
He doesn't have a listing, no?
I don't know how I skipped over him. I got lead Cytopia agent, and then I've got Emperor Antonio, and then it goes down to the monsters: Godzilla, Megalon, Jet Jaguar. In any case, they start to dump the truck.
It's on the Japanese one, yeah, that's why.
And
now here's something I don't understand. Okay, so the guy that they just kicked out, he was supposed to pay these two for dumping the thing. Well, now he's dead, but they're still going to go ahead because I don't think they got paid, or maybe they did, and I missed that.
You know how much money they got? Did they say in English? How much money did they say? Because I don't remember.
I want to say 100,000 yen, something like that.
They're getting like Juma yen, which is like $1,000.
Yeah,
it's about $600. $600, so it's $600 each.
Yeah. So they're not very reliable because they're not making much money. You get what you pay for, But
in that time, like $600
when you're hiring guys and bodies, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, but you could buy a freaking new car for that price then. In 1974, damn.
Really?
You could buy a
be a millionaire in Japan. It's easy to be a millionaire in Japan. So they're dumping the truck. That thing should have already fallen off that truck. Look at the angle on that. Already fallen off the truck. Science, logic.
The effects with Megalon on the dam, the miniatures it won. It didn't win an award, but it's been
nominated.
No, it wasn't nominated. It was. Damn, I can speak English today.
But it's pretty damn good.
Yesterday, it's one of the highlights of miniature usage it's very, very good. Except when I don't know if you noticed, when he comes down, Megalon breaks it, and then he falls down, and you can see him floating by, him in the costume.
So here he comes over the mountain, big dam there. Oh my God, it's a monster! And they run, and the guy comes up
floating.
with his...
Whoa, help!
He comes in his Volkswagen. Hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, get out of my Volkswagen! We're getting away! So Megalon starts busting up the dam. Now, I'm not sure why he has that like Dairy Queen thing on the top of his head. He does shoot like a kind of a laser or kind of a King Ghidorah beam from.
It's because of it's like a cockroach, but like a beetle. In Japan, every kid has a pet beetle, and the beetles have horns, and there's different kinds of horns, and this is just an homage to the beetle horns that kids collect.
All right.
And there's a whole genre. You can go to every shop during the season, and you can buy the beetles. It's like 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches big, and you buy the beetle and you keep it as a pet for three months, and it dies.
So they only last 3 months.
And you take it out, and it climbs up, and it's like, and my wife, I told her, we don't need any. So my son's classmate's dad says, oh, there's many outside my house. He brought 12 to my house, and they were walking all around the house inside.
Oh boy!
Your son dug it. Hey, all my friends got them, Dad.
So it's like common in Japan. You can go during the season. They sell them as pets, and you keep them and you feed them, and you can get the larva stage. And the larva stage is 3 months of larva in a like dirt pot. Like a fish bowl, but it's like an ant cage, but it's a beetle cage. And then after 3 months, it digs its way out, and then you keep it for 3 more months. So it's 6 months you can keep it.
Oh,
there you go.
But don't get too attached.
Pet.
Nice,
it's
nice disposable pet.
It's a disposable pet.
I'm gonna call him Ringo.
Probably lasts longer than a Tamagotchi, but
So they got horns. Horny beetles.
Yeah. Well, before I just have to say something here. After seeing this scene with the flying crate,
yes,
no one needs to say anything more about the Indiana Jones refrigerator scene.
Yes,
the icebox scene, because seriously,
nobody should have survived that crash.
Their bodies smashed.
I mean, they should have been pulp on the inside of that box. And not only that, but the box breaks open when they land and they just roll out. Like, no broken bones, not one broken finger. I mean,
see, you got to think of the physics. They went up like this, and the momentum is up. And when the momentum was 0, they're coming down, and they're going down slightly. Megalon just hit it, and it reversed the momentum exactly. So that it cancels out the physical force of the downward momentum, and then they went up again, and right when they're at the peak of 0 momentum is when they hit the ground, and then they're safe. Hey, I am an engineer. I went to college for 5 years. Damn.
Man, oh man, that was quite an involved spiel you gave there on how they survived that. All right,
it's possible.
I was told there would be no math.
Is that a Dairy Queen symbol on the side of that box? Wait a minute.
It looks like.
And I just mentioned Dairy Queen too. DQ Brazier. They should have been DQ Braziers after that fall.
Well,
I don't know what that means. Anyway, so Megalon, whacks the box as it falls off the truck, and it just flies over to the side, and they survive somehow. Hey, you guys okay? These 2 guys stole my car. I don't know how they got back to the lab because the car's gone. Maybe they took the truck. Roku-chan, don't look at the back of the cabin. So Jet Jaguar comes by and they take control of him. There's a little locket that he has that is the control unit, and he gets control of
a little. Well, he's about to, but then Jet Jaguar flies behind the mountain. He's like, "Oh, it has to be in line of sight."
They go over and they go and talk to the army right away, don't they? And then the army says, "Oh yeah, let's bring it to our helicopter."
Yep. Yep. The army shows up, and once again, there's a lot of wasted ammunition.
Yeah,
you would think they would know by now.
Fire the missiles! Fire the masers! Use the footage from Gargantuas.
Use the footage from Gargantuas. I like that one the best. Use the footage from Gargantuas.
So there's a little star on the top of his head making its magic. And that tank being melted there is actually, I think that's from Godzilla, Mothra versus Godzilla. Is it Ghidorah?
Yeah, I think it's from Ghidorah.
Yeah, it looks like Ghidorah's beam, yeah.
Yeah, it's from Ghidorah.
So that's what they tried to do. They tried to match the little lightning force or whatever.
Yeah,
to Ghidorah's
beam. Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking too much into it there. I think they just used the footage, whether it looked or not. But
so
they did this on rush. The whole film was done on rush. The script was done 3 times. The script was done 3 times in 1 week, and do it again. Okay, and then they start filming. It has to be done.
So Ibuki gets into a helicopter and actually gets closer to Jet Jaguar to get control of him again.
And you notice how when Megalon is hopping like that, the Megalon costume was the heaviest costume to date, and so they had trouble with the wires pulling him up.
Yeah, because he actually bounces. He actually hops, from
instead of flying. They don't show him flying as much because they can't. That's why it's the doll flying.
It took everybody in the studio on a line. Oh God, this guy's heavy. That's funny. There's a scene in Pee-wee's Big Adventure where they have trouble with the lines, trying to keep King Ghidorah when Pee-wee comes through and Santa Claus on a sleigh and everything comes rolling through their set. So Jet Jaguar stops because he says stop, and he's like inches away from the windshield there. And they tell the Seatopians, "Hey, we lost control of Jet Jaguar. We have no way to control Megalon." And Antonio says, "We'll call the cockroach guys in outer space and have them send Gigan." Because I think he actually does say Nebula 7 or whatever.
Yes, he does. He's calling the people from the cockroaches from the last episode. The last movie.
That's the one that they use in Gigan. Yeah, Nebula 7 or whatever it is.
Yes.
Now,
for help.
It doesn't this little walkie-talkie thingy? Isn't that just like a portable radio? Isn't that like a little portable radio?
They'll never know. At that time, 74, they actually had on the market the Man with the Golden Gun wrist radios, where they actually had an actual walkie-talkie that you could strap to your wrist. They had an antenna that came out. Man, they could have bought those. Much more impressive. Anyway, I remember having those. They had those. Terrible range. All right, so they get on the motorcycle to go back to the lab. They found a motorcycle, and Roko-chan sees something in the Toy Story once. Come on, Roko-chan, we're gonna save Jet Jaguar. Come on. And it's a plane. It's a remote control.
Going to somebody's toy store. No people are there. Where is? Are they evacuated?
That they evacuated. Yeah, no, they said
shop owner. Yeah, that's right. They evacuated.
Yep.
I was going to say the shop owner's probably sleeping in a chair next to the door there, but
yeah,
but it could be that they do have. I've gone to stores and
They
there's
didn't
a
roll the
money
shutter
jar.
down?
There's a money jar, and you just pay for something and leave money and go on. It's usually on a set of a bunch of shops.
Yeah.
And no one steals the money, and there's like $100 in money sitting there.
Wow.
In the jar, and people just pay and leave and pay and leave. That's why Japan's the best country in the freaking world, because no one steals anything.
Except robots.
Except robots.
Well, those are Zootopia. They're not
I
Japanese.
wonder if this is actually one of the jets that they actually use in the movie.
Oh yeah, the movies for the too funny.
I think so.
I think the color of it changes. I think it's silver there, and I think it's a white plane when it hits the guy's nose. Anyway, Godzilla on Monster Island gets a visit from Jet Jaguar. They said, "Hey, go to Monster Island and get Godzilla," and he does. He goes and gets Godzilla, and evidently Godzilla understands his Morse code or whatever he's doing, like the flag symbol, whatever. Godzilla's like, he's shaking his head. Godzilla's played by Shinji.
Jaguar even like points like this way.
Shinji Takagi is Godzilla in this. This was his first time as Godzilla. I guess he did it through Terror of Mechagodzilla.
First and only time, isn't it?
Oh, is it his only time? Funny.
I'm looking. Let's see. Godzilla. It doesn't have a page. Shinji Takagi. You can keep going. I just
find out who played Godzilla in Mechagodzilla and Terror of Mechagodzilla. See if it's him.
I'm checking right. Okay, I got it. It's only this one.
Oh, okay.
He only plays in this one.
They didn't like his performance. We're not going to hire him again.
Godzilla on this one only. That's it.
He's a little too animated. And here we have a reverse shot of a stock shot of Godzilla jumping in the water from
anime. And the shot when Godzilla jumps in the water.
And there he goes.
Yes, Ebora, yes.
Now, if it takes the same amount of time for him to get there that it did in Gigan, oh my God, the movie's going to be over before he gets there.
And only with the left hand, though. The left hand only.
Swimming in circles. We got more fight with Gigan. I'm sorry, Gigan. Listen to me. Megalon. And that star's lighting up.
Destroying Tokyo. And they actually have destroying...
like little red foam balls that are bombs out of his mouth.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what did you just say? I cut you off.
And the buildings right here. Those are actual Japanese famous buildings in the Tokyo area.
Oh.
And the one that I see, I'll show you very quickly, is... That is the baseball stadium.
Okay.
That was now since destroyed.
Megalon
because they
took
built
out
a
the
new
baseball
one.
stadium. Well,
that's where the Tokyo Giants play.
That's because Megalon took it out, you know.
Right.
So yeah, they fly the remote control plane into the Zootopia guy's face. And he bleeds. I mean, they show blood in this film, which is actually for kids. There it is. No, I guess it is.
They cut the blood out of the U.S. version.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, funny. So I'm seeing the violent Japanese version with porn in the truck. I mean, no parents in Japan evidently complained.
In Japan, that's you wouldn't complain. That's no problem.
Well, it's like when the little boy goes out on this little bike. It's like the two guys like, yeah, you go on, you know, and he's off by himself, just, you know, just ready to get.
Nobody kidnaps here, just Zoetopians.
Just Zoetopians. It's only the damn Gaigokujin, which is foreigners. Damn foreigners.
Funny. So they get the lab back. And they get control of Jet Jaguar from the lab. And they tie up the Zoetopian guy, I think. And Megalon kind of jumping around.
But where it was funny, going back to the motorcycle, when they stole the motorcycle, they just happened to have a child's helmet. because they each have helmets on. I don't want to say that. They stole someone's motorcycle and they had the exact size child helmet.
Well, again, the families usually ride on the motorcycles together. Usually they have like 5 or 6 people in the family on one motorcycle. At least in China, they do that. Maybe not in Japan.
They do, and they leave everything out front. Everything's out front, not locked.
So because they trust people, and then this time you can't say it's the Cetopians. It's our heroes. So Megalon's bouncing around, and hey, what the hell? Oh, Gigan shows up.
Yeah, finally,
Gigan makes his appearance. They reused the stock footage of him coming from Gigan.
Because Jet Jaguar was holding his own versus Megalon. So they had to bring it. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Jet Jaguar is fighting Megalon now, right?
Yeah, he fought Megalon.
They actually asked for Gigan before they got to fighting, though. I guess
yes, they asked for Gigan. He was coming. He's on the way, though.
I guess they realized, we got a giant beetle for a kaiju. We might need to get another kaiju to come in to help him, especially if Godzilla's coming. All right. So Jet Jaguar, this is where he becomes big, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We find out that he's got a power that we didn't know, we didn't realize, and that is he can make himself big.
Yes, and his nickname in this movie, by the way, is Tom Hanks. So you know.
Wilson! There's no crying in kaiju fighting. I can only do a Tom Hanks impression if he's yelling. That's all I can do. So he becomes big, and the minute he becomes big, before Megalon can even react, he just decks him. He just hauls off and punches the crap out of him, knocks him right off his.
That's what you're supposed to do. When you watch Power Rangers, like, okay, let's form and storm it, and the monsters just go boom. Why wait?
So he takes him down. Actually, Megalon actually kind of messes him up a bit before Gigan shows up. He spins him around, makes him dizzy and stuff.
But he's holding his own, though. He's not like losing.
Yeah.
That's how Gigan comes, and that's when he gets his ass whooping.
Now, as we can see here, because of the budget, we have these fights at night. Just like Gigan. Looks more realistic if it's dark. And Gigan is like tunneling around into the ground, and because he's got tunnel hands. And
these are actually shot on location because they actually grew giant robots and people. They're actually a couple 100 feet tall on location. Okay, maybe no. That was just me as a child. I thought that.
Roko-chan and Goro and Jinkawa Hiroshi, they're all watching now. They actually got to the top of the mountain where they're fighting, and they found it somehow, and now they're watching. Jet Jaguar is big now. Jet Jaguar is big now. That's right. It's the kid that points that out. Well, thank you, Captain Obvious. Look how big he is. And the two dads are like, yes, he is really big.
The two dads now.
Strong. This is terrible. I can't believe I can't see this movie the same way again, ever again. Thank you for pointing that out. There's a double meaning for everything now. Gigan shows up, right?
Yes, it's Gigan.
They start double teaming him.
Do you have the shot where they blast Jet Jaguar out of the air? He does with the red bombs mixed with his lightning,
right?
And he hits the dummy.
Yes, and it's obviously a dummy. Just throw there he is. Just throw him up in the air, and we'll do some explosion thing behind him. And then he comes right down like a rock.
That's how physics works.
He's trying to hold his own. He's trying to fight, but yeah, he's double teamed. He's outnumbered. And
the other
of
thing
course, Godzilla's still swimming.
Now, Gigan doesn't use his belly saw. He could just saw it in half or something.
Correct.
They didn't
This
have
is
enough
a
budget for
different
it.
costume. They remodeled the costume and it's locked. It does not work. In fact, they changed his head. The head is different. The claws, the fin is different. The head is different. It's basically a new costume, and he doesn't use the fins at all. It's actually thinner too, a little bit thinner than the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, they couldn't afford it. The budget was so bad, so low. They couldn't even afford to do the buzzsaw belly in this. And then Godzilla shows up. Time to make
And for this movie too, I forgot to mention at the beginning that the Gigan one had a limited release, and it did okay in the limited release. But this one also had a limited release, but they used the poster with the World Trade Center.
Right.
And this one was shown after the release on Saturday night in '78 with John Belushi dressed as a gorilla doing the intro, but it was cut to only like 55 minutes. They did in 1 hour.
Oh wow!
And I watched that. That's what I watched. But this one is shown.
He was dressed as Godzilla, wasn't he?
Now he was dressed. I believe it was Godzilla, but in the reading it says he was dressed like a gorilla. But I remember it was Godzilla. But
I remember that he did an interview with Baba Wawa dressed as Godzilla. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe
I don't know if it was the same gorilla costume he used in Trading Places, like that. But anyways,
and that was
this movie's been shown so many times that this is like the most popular movie according to everything I've read of all Godzilla movies.
Of the earlier one.
The earlier one. The most popular is the most widely read, because that's why you think of Godzilla as campy and silly, is because of this.
Because of this. And this really does get campy.
And I didn't get to see this or the Gigan in the theaters because I was living in Maine. And what's going to show there?
I actually saw this one in a drive-in cinema. I think it was 75, maybe. No, it had to be later. It had to be like 78 because I remember I was up in North.
It had to be 77 or after. It had to be 77.
Yeah, it was 78, 70. Yeah, I think it was 78. Yeah. That was
March of '78 on Saturday night is when John Belushi hosted the hour special Megalon. And I remember doing it because I was living in this apartment, and I remember watching it. I still went with my mom, and I was like, "Why is it so short?" And I'm like, "Why is he wearing a costume for?" And I still remember it because it was in the TV guide, and all week I was looking forward to it. So every day I had all my Godzilla toys out. Okay. So
What Godzilla toys I got here?
And this movie is great. This movie is just phenomenal in that it's so fun to watch. I could just watch this on a loop all day and not get sick of it.
Yeah. It's a fun movie. It is. Because it's so silly, you know. And again, I wished that Megalon had gotten a chance to be actually a badass monster in a later film, but just like they did, they upgraded Gigan, man. He was badass in Final Wars.
But you watch him in the new YouTube short movie. I think it's a 10-minute movie, and he fires like these laser beams out of his mouth instead of the bombs. They changed it. And he loses, but he destroys a lot. He's really strong. It's a really cool effect. You can see on YouTube they have several new fights, and I think it's I don't know if it's by Toho.
They do the old monsters sometimes. They'll do shorts, like you said. They did one with Jet Jaguar not long ago.
Yes.
They did one with Hedorah. It was really good. And multiple Gigans, the old style Gigans, fighting Godzilla. They were fighting like modern Godzilla. Like it looked like. The Millennium Godzilla, I think.
Yes.
Maybe. It didn't look like Monarch Godzilla because they couldn't get away with that, but it was a newer version of Godzilla. Not
the fight scenes in this one though are fun. The guys in the costume, everyone is very entertaining, especially for children. For me,
yeah.
I have a children's brain, so I still watch this and I go, that's cool what he's doing, and walking around like that, waving his arms and doing that, waving the head. Very cool. The animation is really good in the actor. The actor's really being a costume animator. I worked for Universal for 7 years in costume.
Yeah.
Doing animated stuff in your costume, and they're great.
Yeah, good movement. Well, and again, Ken Fachiro, who's doing Gigan, got brought back to play Godzilla in the Heisei series.
Yeah, because he's Godzilla all through. Yeah, all the way through.
I think Godzilla even breaks one of Gigan's arms, doesn't he? In this fight,
I think so.
He just breaks it over his leg or something.
Yeah, I think it's just Jaguar.
It folds over. It just folds over.
Right. But he looks hurt. He looks like he's hurt. All right, so again, we get the guy again trying to fly away. Run away, run away. Godzilla just zaps him with his breath and he comes right down. I love that move. He just crashes to earth like a rock.
Now, this is
of course, there's no
footage.
children's buildings or hospitals to fall on in this one. Couldn't afford it. Now, is that actually the puppy face Godzilla?
That's the puppy face from Mechagodzilla. I have all.
You still have all your figures, right? You still have all the action figures.
I have only the 3-inch ones.
Oh, 3-inch. Okay.
Yeah, I got all the 3-inch ones because that's when my toy store. My toy store, I sold the 3-inch ones.
Gashapon?
Yes, the Gashapon, the capsule there.
Yeah. I used to have Megalon on that.
I have Megalon. I didn't bring it. I had the whole box.
That was one of the only Gashapons I ever got. I bought it by accident because I thought it was a big one and it turned out to be 3 inches. 2.5 inches. Not even.
That's what she said. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So they're still fighting. Again, there's a lot of fight in the latter part of this movie. They knew that's what the kids wanted. They wanted to see the monsters fight, So Gigan, the last half of the film is just fighting, monster fighting. And again, there's like 40 minutes of fighting in this one too. There's very little story.
Yes, Gigan in this one, there's tons of fighting. It's great.
Yeah. And I think we're coming up on the scene where Gigan and Megalon are put a wall of fire around them with their powers, their lasers and their bombs and stuff. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. And Godzilla and Jet Jaguar are forced to fight back to back because these monsters are walling them in. And then Jet Jaguar grabs Godzilla on his back and flies him out of there, which is ridiculous. Look, there it is. There's the circle of light.
It's more like it's a ring of fire.
Yeah,
and they flew out of a big ring of fire. Again, how can he fly big old fat Godzilla with his thunder thighs out of there? It just makes no sense, but he's a powerful robot, I guess. And Godzilla, Megalon and Gigan are like, huh? How did you do that? Even they're like, how did you do that? And Godzilla just starts zapping him with his atomic ray because that's what he does.
But in the video game, when you use him, you can use your ray, but you got to pump up. He's just like using it continuous.
Yes. There's no power up. It's just I can fire this as much as I want to.
It's my movie. I can do it now.
And again, it's just a lower budget because earlier his fins in the back would light up and then he'd fire, but now it's like, nah.
We don't even see the fins light up, do we?
No.
And sometimes it's not even straight. It just goes with a curve. Well,
yeah.
Megalon's over there. Okay, curve the beam. Okay, curve it.
to there. What the hell?
It's Gigan flying off.
Is Guy again trying to fly away? Is he going to zap again and bring him down? Oh,
Jaguar.
yeah. Antonio's like, that's it. Battle over. Call back Megalon.
Oh, Megalon, please come back. Please come back.
Yeah,
Megalon,
Zootopia.
Megalon, come back, Megalon.
Zootopia is pretty lame as far as underwater.
Sleepy time, Megalon. Come home.
Tokyo is trash, though.
So now, the guy that did the music for this movie, we've already talked about how much we hated his music for Hedorah, the quacking Godzilla theme. And in this, he uses banjo and Jew's harp for this scene with the fighting because he didn't even take it seriously.
That's how fight scenes should be.
Music. It's not serious at all. So they beat the hell out of Megalon. Gigan's already left. He's like, guy, we can't win this.
Jaguar breaks his arm, and then they throw him in the air, and Godzilla hits him with fire, and then an empty costume hits the ground.
Yes. Well, he always does the thing where he pulls it up and beats the ground with it, right? And he tries to get one of his bombs out, and Godzilla knocks it right back into his mouth.
You got to do the most famous part of the movie. Next, the most famous part of the movie.
We're getting there.
The flying leap.
The flying
that's Gigan.
Well, that's Gigan. The Gigan falls, and that's when the empty costume he fires Gigan, and Gigan falls.
Yeah, Gigan splits.
Now he splits. All right, so now
there's the flying leap.
Godzilla tells Jet Jaguar, hold on to him. And he does a flying leap kick jump. Not once, but like 3 times. And it's hysterical.
It's like he rides his tail. He rides his tail. He doesn't even actually leap. He just slides along on his tail.
Yeah, I think they put him on a track with his tail rigid. And he just.
And this was the intro for season 3, I think, of MST, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
They showed that.
Used this on the intro for like all of season 3 after they did it. Every episode, season 3, this was in the intro, the flying kick.
There it is. He takes the empty costume and he just beats the ground with it. Yeah. That's a standard move, like in these Showa films in the 70s. The only one they didn't do it with is because they probably couldn't do it is Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
So Megalon has had it. He's flying back to Zootopia. He's flying back to the crevice in the lake. Close the crevice.
Close the crevice. So this is where they got the idea for Pacific Rim? That was Zootopia, basically. Zootopia in another dimension.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe. A little homage to that. Okay, they're gone now. Let's go home. Goodbye, Godzilla. Goodbye. And the handshake. I love the handshake. Dun, 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 dun.
Why do they call it the most awkward handshake? Because the Godzilla guy can't see him.
I can't see if there are little holes in my neck. Jaguar can't see him either, probably. I'm supposed to look through my mouth, but I can't. I can't see you. Dun 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 dun. This little, like cat meow, there. You're shaking my head. Yeah, pretty awkward, like you said. I think Godzilla's like,
I make all of my students have to wear those short shorts that boy wears.
Yeah,
including the adults.
Man. So Godzilla walks off onto the expansive dirt set.
It's a nice set. It's really nice, though.
Let's just dump a bunch of sand on the set and put a couple of little trees there and let him walk away. Easy peasy.
They did a good job with it. Godzilla fighting with that tree was pretty cool. Same as a King Kong escapes homage. hitting with the tree.
Yeah. So Jet Jaguar shrinks himself down to size again. And they're like, okay, let's go home. And he doesn't move. And he's like, well, that's peculiar. And then he uses the little remote control thing and he goes, Jet Jaguar, let's go home. And then he starts to move. So he's back now. They've got their original Jet Jaguar back. And there's some speech about, oh, maybe someday he'll come back and be a giant kaiju again, you know, if we need him. Not! Never happened.
Okay.
Actually, he is in, or a version of him is in the Godzilla animated. What was the recent TV show?
Yes,
Godzilla. I want to say Singular Point, but I don't think that's it.
Singular Point. I'm looking right now. Festa Godzilla. Singular Point. Yes.
I'm right. Okay. Awesome.
Yes, Godzilla Singular Point. He's in the TV show.
Yeah, but he looks weird. He looks different. His body is all boxy and
he's on a Godzilla Island TV show from the American. He's also in Godzilla Final Wars, but only as a toy.
Yeah.
He's in Godzilla, the web videos. He's in the Fest Godzilla 4. He's in Godzilla vs. Kong, only as graffiti of an arm.
Graffiti. Okay.
And he's in Fest Godzilla 5. Yeah.
So, yeah, they put the little boy in his short shorts on the Jet Jaguar's body. Ow! He's hot!
He's hot. And I love how they...
It's like the metal slides they made kids slide down when I was a kid. I was like, how do those kids not burn themselves?
How is it that so he was taken over by an alien, now he has no character anymore? He's just a regular robot?
Yeah, who knows? That's a huge plot hole for me. It's like, you know, once he's become independent, wouldn't you think he'd learn from that and he'd go flying off and do his own thing, you know?
And they have to do an autopsy on him and study how he grows.
So yeah, it's an antimatter thing, I guess. I don't know. Again, no explanation. They just do it. Yeah, so we don't know. We don't understand why Minya can grow and shrink. You know, it will. But there it is. All right. Well, we went long, as I figured we would with this particular episode, because this movie is just so silly. So thank you for joining us again, George. Next time we're doing Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. You can join us for that if you want. We love your insight. Thank you, Professor Wallnut.
Thank you.
And thank you, Anastasia, for helping us get things moving forward and helping us get that video in. And we appreciate you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure always. And I love when George is here. It's wonderful. Konnichiwa. I'm even learning some Japanese. Thank you.
You teach you Japanese.
Ohio.
We learned a lot about Japanese.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, right. Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
And we learned a lot about Japanese license plates, thanks to George.
Yes.
All right.
Very enlightening.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, 2 more episodes, and then season 1 is done.
Next week is Mechagodzilla. Next week, Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla next time.
The best movie ever. It's on my top 5 most favorite movies ever.
Love King Caesar. He's one of my faves. And they did bring him back for Godzilla Final Wars. His eyes are kind of goofy looking, but they did bring him back. So, all right, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. And again, look up all of our episodes that are archived on YouTube and enjoy them. We've got everything from the first original Godzilla on up to Megalon now in the can, including films like Varan and Mothra and Rodan that didn't have Godzilla in them, but we decided to, these are kaiju films, so we decided to do them. So again, 25 for the Heisei, I'm sorry, the Showa series. And the Heisei series, on episode 20. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. That's actually an older man.
Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Thanks.